Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Amazon Web Services from scratch. In this video, we will look at the IAM Identity Center service, we will take a closer look to IAM policies, we will learn how to switch roles in the web console, we will set maximum access restrictions using permission boundaries, we will get acquainted with the CloudTrail service to find out who created which resource, we will work with the policy simulator, and we will learn the best practice of using IAM. In the previous videos, we looked at creating users using IAM service. There is also another option of managing users with IAM Identity Center. To add a user, go to IAM Identity Center. By the way, you can add frequently used services to favorites and be sure you are on the right region. Enable. As you understand here, go to Users, Add User. Here fill out the primary information, the rest of parameters are optional. The group name we will add later, here you can verify your information and click Add User. Now go to Groups, Create Group, choose a group name, create a group. Now go to AWS Accounts, choose your account, assign users or group, here you can choose your group or a user. Next, create permission set. There are ready-made sets. You can set the administration level, bidding for example for finance department, read-only and others. Pay attention to the session duration, which is how long the authorization session will remain active after logging in. After this time, the user will see an error and will need to log in again. Return to the previous tab, select the permission set we just created and click to Submit button. We can log in as our new user and here we see our administrator role, access keys and session token which are valid for 1 hour, with samples how to use them on different operation systems. We can also add one user to multiple groups. Create a new group, choose a user, create group. Now go to Permission Sets, create permission set, choose Read Only, Next, Next, create. Now go to AWS Accounts, choose our account, assign users or groups, choose our new group, Next, permission set, Next, Submit. Wait a little bit. Now go to the login page with our new user. Here you can see 2 roles, our previously created administrator role and the new one, read-only role. This can be useful if, for example, you want to add one user to billing and support. In this case, they can check invoices and create support tickets if necessary, but won't be able to launch any services. Now let's quickly try to create a new EC2 instance. As you see, it gives me access denied exceptions since it's read-only role. In the previous lesson, we briefly discussed what the IAM policy is. Now let's delve into its format in more detail. Let's start from the policy format. Version specifies the version of the policy. The current version is 2012-1017. Statement, the main part of the policy which includes SID. This is a just identifier. You can add a comment or omit altogether. It's optional but must be unique within a statement if specified. Effect defines the action or allow it or deny it. Actions that are allowed or denied, for example S3 list bucket or EC2 terminate instance. The first part before the colon specifies the service and the part after the colon specifies the action within that service. This varies from service to service. Resource, the resource to which this action applies to. For example, the IRN Amazon resource name of a specific S3 bucket. IRNs are unique within the account and can always be found in the settings of any resource. And optionally condition, the conditions under which the action is allowed or denied. For example, conditions based on IP address. Now this policy allows you to run S3 list bucket only for bucket name my bucket only from this specific IP address. No worries if you don't remember all the resources you want to configure access to. You can use the Visual Builder, which is interactive and greatly simplifies the creation of new policies. For example, select a service, action, resource, and optionally condition. After you finish it with ClickOps, you can switch to JSON tab and see that the policy was already generated for you. If you have any questions left, you are always welcome to the comments. If you want to give someone access to your account, there is no need to create a user. You can create a role and allow other accounts to use it. Go to IAM Roles, create role. AWS account, choose another account. I will enter my own account ID because I want to show you how it works. Choose a policy, for example, Cognito read only. The name of the role and create the role. After the role is created, let's copy the role name and go to top right menu, switch role. Here we can use our role name and account ID. An optional display name, for example, Cognito read only, and switch role. It means now we have switched to another account and we will use all permissions which were provided by this role, for example, Cognito. As test, I can try to open EC2 and as you see, I have permission denied issue. Now let's go to Cognito and as you see, I am able to do list users pools. The next topic is permission boundary. Permission boundary is an advanced feature in IAM that allows you to limit the maximum permissions a user or role can have. How does it work? When a user or a role performs an action, AWS checks permission in two places, our IAM policy and permission boundary if it's set, and an action will only be allowed if it permitted in both policies. Let's have a look at an example. In this policy, we allow terminating and stopping EC2 instances. In permission boundary, we allow starting and stopping instances. It means the user cannot perform EC2 terminate instances action because it's not allowed by the permission boundary. Now let's make a test. Opening our Cognito cross-account test role, attaching EC2 full access policy. Let's have a look to our permission boundary policy. We have EC2 and S3 allowed and we have IAM denied. Let's attach our permission boundary and switch a role to Cognito read only. As you see now, I am not able to list users pools because it's not allowed in permission boundary. And now we can switch our role back. Can I see who created, edited or deleted a resource? Yes, you can in a service called CloudTrail. Let's open it. Go to Event History. Here you can filter it by username to see the user activity. Or you can filter by resource name to see who worked with some resource. CloudTrail is a very simple and powerful tool when you need to find out whom to blame for any mistake. One day, when you have very complex policies and you need to quickly check what access a role, user or a group has, the policy simulator will help you. I have a test role called S3 Policy Simulator test with permissions to do everything in S3 bucket except delete anything. Now get back to IAM, Tools, Policy Simulator. Here we can choose what we want to check, user group or policy. I choose policy, policy simulator test. Here you can choose a service you want to test, for example, S3 bucket, select all, run simulator. Now you see that all actions are allowed except delete actions. AWS IAM is a critical component for managing access to your resources in AWS. Following best practice for IAM helps ensure security and proper access control. Grant only the permissions necessary to perform tasks. Apply policies that clearly define the actions and resources to which access is allowed. Regularly review policies and revoke unnecessary permissions. Create IAM roles for services and applications instead of IAM users. Assign roles to EC2 instances, Lambda functions, and other services to get temporary credentials. Enable and require MFA for all users. Group users together for centralized permission management. Create groups with necessary permissions for different teams or roles in your organization. Set permission boundaries to limit the maximum permission that role and users can obtain. This helps prevent privilege escalation even when the new policies are added. Always delete inactive accounts and keys. Use condition in policies for adding access restrictions, for example, restrict access based on IP address. And the last one, use the root account only for performing administrative tasks. Create separate administrative accounts for daily operations. Thank you everyone who watched till the end. You are the best. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for the like, subscriptions and comment.